Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Talk of the Town. Tonight, we're extremely pleased that we have as our guest Sheriff Michael Jackson, the Sheriff of Prince George's County, as you know. And Michael has just finished a master's program at Johns Hopkins University and is doing will eventually be doing some part-time work at Johns Hopkins as an adjunct professor and also at the University of Maryland University College. So we think the sheriff really has done a great job, and it's a great time to have someone with the kind of academic background and knowledge that you need when you're dealing with the population. And I'd like to start off by just asking you one question. I know your program was in management and leadership. What do you think that now, because the economy is really so bad and things are not good at the state and the county, what's your idea when you become county executive? How will you handle some of these problems that seem almost insurmountable in terms of money and the economy and things? Do you have any plans or ideas?
First, thank you for having me, Mr. Devaney.
You're welcome. We're happy.
Thank you for having me here.
We are happy to have you. We think it's great.
And thank you for having me, Mr. Mayor. Always a pleasure.
I haven't even introduced the mayor. Okay, and by the way, we have Mayor Robinson, who's always here. And he likes me to tell people that he won with 88% of the vote, and after that, he doesn't care much about anything else. Go ahead,
All right. Again, thank you for having me here.
You're welcome.
I think it's very important. My success at Johns Hopkins is something that's a personal milestone for me, but I think it also lends to my belief of having and always ever improving on sound management principles when you're moving forward, whether it's with my agency, which we think we've done a terrific job over the last 7 years. But I think a county and a state and country that are faced with the issues that we're faced with, I think we can't get enough of management principles, sound management principles. And also from the leadership standpoint, I think, again, we have proven that we can build a team in the Office of the Sheriff, a team of very savvy, smart, bright, dedicated, compassionate individuals. So many of whom are much brighter than me. And so I have no problems when I become county executive to ensure the citizens of this county that we will assemble the best team that we can get our hands on to ensure that we tackle the tough economic times that we're going to be facing and to entrust our public to know that we have their interests at heart. So.
What about, I know this really doesn't, it hits more with your job as a sheriff, but I've noticed that you've instituted some programs, internships, and some educational support for some of the kids with the theory of stopping them before they get into crime and providing them a different track. What about those programs? How are they working, and really what they're all about? I don't think a lot of people are aware of them, and I found out about them through the paper. But those are two good programs that I read about.
Well, I think we're very proud. You talk about the economics of today. Mm-hmm. Unfortunately, we came in office at the end of 2002. And beginning of 2003, we realized that, unfortunately, our county, for economic reasons, had gone away from the basic program in our elementary schools. We had DARE here in the county, so that program no longer existed. There was a program called GREAT, which is Gang Resistance Education and Training, in which we greatly need that now, no pun intended, but that was gone out of our middle schools, and we only had school resource officers in our high schools here in the county. So we were missing from, kindergarten, first grade, up through the 9th grade, any involvement with our public safety in our school system. So we took it upon ourselves to make a proposal to go into our school system. And we were able to get into the high schools. We currently are now in the school resource for 20 of our 22 high schools. including here in Bowie. But we also brought about the DARE program and at zero cost to the county.
That's always good.
We have deputies that are dedicated. So much so that the person who has our DARE program, and these are all part-timers, with respect to doing this assignment, it was at one point the president, of the Maryland DARE. So that's where the dedication is. We believe that you reach our young people to help them make that right decision along the way. You can help guide them. But we also brought back the Explorer program, which police and fire and sheriffs and corrections has, a program which introduces our young people to a regimented style of a life, but also a dedicated style of mentorship and responsibility and dependability, and exposes them to everything positive that we can. And they are from 14 to 20 years of age, in which, this is certainly the primary time in life where they're met with all kinds of challenges, and we want to make sure that someone is there to help them make those tough decisions because, quite frankly, everyone wants to be a part of something that they believe is a good thing. And unfortunately, there are two types of leaders, one for good, one for bad, and they both do their job very well. And on the surface, things look good. So we want to help our young people make the proper decisions in life.
That's great. Mayor.
Let me go back a second. Let me ask, you're obviously a very experienced guy, very bright guy, well-educated guy. Let me just ask you the simple question that I know voters are going to look at you and say, given all that background, why on earth in this current environment you want to be county executive?
That's exactly why.
That's it?
That's exactly why. I wanted to be the sheriff of Prince George's County because I saw that there was a need to reconnect public safety, law enforcement in particular, with the community. I saw it, grew up in this county, I saw that disconnect, and I understood that the premise of being a law enforcement officer is a person who's there to help people in need when in need. Well, it doesn't make much sense when the law enforcement officer who's responding to the need of a citizen, and the citizen is calling them because they have a need, and the citizen has some anxiety about the person that's going to show up at their door just as much as they do with the person who has offended them. That didn't make any sense to me, so we wanted to address that issue. Why would I want to be county executive? I think that we have a great opportunity here. We have bright people here. We have great young people who are going to be our future leaders. I want to be a part of that team that's going to help guide them and give them the resources that are necessary. And not everything is monetary. Give them the resources, mainly support, that is necessary for them to make Prince George's County what it can be. We are still the last bastion of land where we could bring in businesses to our county. We are also still the last bastion of the opportunities where we have a very diverse community, and we can each learn from that. We have young people coming into our county who, before you know it, if they already don't know it, they soon will learn 2 languages. I just hope that we can get to the point where our young people who are already here understand the value in that, and the value that will play in the world, to come with respect to being leaders, future leaders of this county. And I just think that the proper team can garner the resources internally as well as externally to bring to Prince George's County what we need to move forward.
What do you think the biggest challenges, 2 or 3 big challenges, are going to face the next county executive? Obviously, you've given this a lot of thought. You walk through that door, in January, the following January. What do you think is going to be there to hit you in the head the first day?
Well, the economy. We just went through everyone was crossing their fingers toward the end of the last quarter of the year, thinking that we were going to face that huge, huge rift. So the economy is the first thing that we have to face. But we got to get to the point where we come up with some new ideas on how we bring about a viable tax base in Prince George's County, how we structure some sort of program here in Prince George's County where we can feed into the mechanism of bringing economic development to our county. We see it all around us. I can tell you something that stuck out to me in the newspaper and on the news over the last few weeks is the battle that's going on